video, we're now going to look at the kind of key stages of long-term athlete development, but also how that sits in kind of organisations and coaching frameworks, and obviously the development of sport. So we obviously looked at the 7 stages of long-term athlete development, and this is pulled from the Canadian Sport for Life model, from active start, fundamental movements, learning to train to win, train to compete, train to win, and active for life. So various organisations have used this approach in various degrees and have developed their own long-term athlete development models, which can be seen in a range of sports organisational, national and governing bodies. So here you can see on screen we've got the RFU long-term athlete development model. Judo's developed one. Here you can see the IRFU long-term player development model. As you can see, they've changed the term to player. Obviously the athlete player are very interchangeable. It's clearly, very aligned to the existing models that we've already discussed in terms of the Canadian Sport for Life model. Here's linking back into that, the Canadian long-term athlete development model. There's, no accidental champions is their kind of key strapline that they've used and that have their model developed. And here you can see a wide variety of examples from, cycling to field hockey, which have all been adapted from the same principles. Within the UK, you've got here on screen, you've got a success in long-term athlete development for swimming. And then obviously we've got actually a player development pathway for women and girls in football. So they've actually, which is really nice to see, have developed a gender-specific development pathway for girls and women. And here you can see their model from the FA Women's Football Long-Term Athlete Development Model. And referring back to the previous diagram where I said to have a look at it and take on board lots of the information, it models very much the similar principles, but obviously they've adapted it to suit their particular needs. So it would be worth, if your area of interest is in soccer or football, spend a little bit of time reviewing this model and look at their periodisation and their planning and their training principles within this model. So pulling some key information from that model, stages 1 and 2, which looks at 5 to 11-year-olds, primary school age, the small-sided games are played. Stages 3 and 4, 11 to 16, which is secondary school, 11v11 games are played. Stages 5 and 6, 6 to 20, school leaver age group. Stage 7, 20 plus, a mature player example. And stage 8 is retention for participation, who is retained within the football sector. So these athlete participation development models, participation development is complex and is individualised. So it's starting to get an understanding of these principles. Participation development is multi-dimensional, focused on physical, psychological, social and environmental components. So the models develop me to kind of take on board this information and develop an understanding of these areas. Participant development needs vary according to the sporting objectives, the pathways. So, and this is why I think there's obviously different sports that develop their own strategies and transitions between stages, because someone who's taking part in swimming is very different from someone who's taking part in football or someone who's taking part in gymnastics. So it's important that each individual sport has taken on board this model and adapted to meet their particular needs in that sport.